All right, y'all. Survivor Series review for November 26, 2022. Give this about a 6 out of 10. The two women's matches weren't that good, especially the women's title. SmackDown women's title match. Main event was great. Finn Balor, AJ Styles start off real slow, and then I picked up halfway through. And then Triple Threat was all right. Not too bad. Finish was pretty good for that. The Bloodline in a shocking win. I thought for sure Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre were all going to win, but they didn't win. The Bloodline have been booked very strong for like 2 years, ever since Romans won the title. They had to. I thought they were going to show at least some type of weakness, maybe lose a match, but it didn't happen tonight. So I don't know when the fuck they're going to lose. And then another shocking finish. We got a new United States champion, Austin Theory. What was the point of giving the fucking belt to Rollins? Doesn't make any sense. He barely had the belt. Now he's not the champion anymore. All right, let's get to it. First match is a women's war game match. Start things off. It was Dakota Kai and Bianca Belair. And Io Sky entered next, followed by Asuka. Nikki Cross got in there. She grabbed some weapons from under the ring, a few trash can lids and kendo sticks. Company loves fucking kendo sticks, man. I don't know what it is. And Alexa Bliss got in next. Nikki Cross climbed to the top of the cage and she jumped off the cage onto all the other competitors that were in the ring. And Bayley entered and she got some weapons. She put in ladders and tables. And then Bayley trapped Bianca in between the rings by pushing the table and then trapping her between the table and the cage. And then Mia Yim entered next, followed by Rhea Ripley. And then Becky Lynch was the last one to enter. She pretty much just clean fucking house, shut everybody in there. And then Asuka spit mist into Rhea Ripley's face. Becky hit a DDT on Ripley, and then Io Sky hit a moonsault from top of the cage onto Bianca and Mia Yim. And then Nikki Cross had handcuffs. I don't think I saw those get put in. So she had the handcuffs, and she put Alexa's hand. She was trying to put Alexa's hand, Bliss in both of the both her hands in the handcuffs. So she got one hand, and then she was struggling to get the other one on, and then Alexa Bliss put the other Nikki handcuff part of the handcuff onto Nikki Cross's arm. So they're pretty much stuck together for the rest of the match, just tied with the handcuffs. And then Rhea with Mia Yim on her back ran into the ladder, and she pretty much put her through it and broke it in half. Becky Lynch hit two rock bottoms, and then Becky Lynch hit a senton from the top of the cage onto Dakota Kai. And Scott and Io Sky threw a table for the win. So women's War Games match, the babyfaces win. We'll see what other feuds open up next on Raw this week. All right, next up, we got a backstage segment with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Jay says, from day one, I knew as soon as we started hanging out with Sami Zayn, he couldn't be trusted. He's the reason we lost last night. I saw him in KO talking last night. He lied to my face last night. The only reason why I didn't get him is you didn't give the order. And then he says, what are we going to do about it? And Roman's pretty much just laughing at this. And he says, what are we going to do? He says, you're going to do what I say. And then he says, and I'll worry about everything else. You understand? And he says, I'm going to look in his eyes and I'll know if he is telling the truth. I will know where his loyalties lie. Focus on tonight. And then he tells, and it's Paul Heyman's at the background through the whole segment, and he tells Heyman to call Sammy. And then Paul calls Sammy, and that was it for that segment. So, interesting segment coming up with Sami Zayn later. All right, next up, we got AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor hit a backbreaker and a drop kick. AJ hit a hip toss at two clotheslines. And then the Judgment Day and the OC pretty much just brawl outside, and it spills over into the crowd, and then they disappear for the rest of the match. Balor hit a sling blade. AJ suplexed Finn into the corner for a 2 count. AJ hit a reverse DDT. He got an ear fall. And AJ applied the calf crusher. Balor slammed AJ's head into the mat to get out of that. AJ hit a phenomenal forearm for the win. So this is apparently AJ Styles' first win one-on-one match on a pay-per-view since 2019, 3 years ago. That's insane. He's pretty much done nothing for like 3 years though, because he was in that tag team with Omos, and then they broke up, and now he's back with these guys. And he hasn't been champion yet either. We're a heavyweight champion. So they should start to heat him back up again and give him in another feud. Or if this feud's still going, I don't know who else he's got a feud with. All right, next up, we got this match. This match is just fucking terrible. It might have been the botch of the year, where Shotzi tried to suplex Ronda onto the mat outside she was on the apron, and she like let go and looked like Ronda like landed on her neck or her traps or something. I thought she might have injured her neck or something. But yeah, Ronda just hit Piper's Pit for the win. She did the arm bar. Not really much else to say about this. Next match we got another segment in the back. Time is Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Roman says, "You were talking to KO last night." And Sami says, "Yeah, I was." And then Roman says, "Why did you lie to Jay?" And then Sami says, "I withheld information." He says he lied because Jay had a huge match, and then the advantage for tonight's match was on the line. I didn't want to put that on his plate. He wouldn't understand. He already has trouble understanding me. And then he says, "I didn't talk to KO. He talked to me. I sat there. I listened. He left. That's the truth." And then Roman says, "Well, what did he say?" And then Sami says that I should turn on the bloodline before the bloodline turns on me. And then Roman says, "He was your friend." And he tells Sami, "This is my family, my blood. I need you to look me in the eyes, and I need to know if you're with us or if you're going to stab us in the back out there." Sami says, "I am with you." He says, "There's 5 people that are allowed to walk in this room." And he says, Heyman, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and himself. And he says, "You think that's lost on me? That means the world to me that you took me in as a member of this family. I'm not going to let you down tonight. I'm with the bloodline." So they both stand. Roman hugs him. Then the camera zooms in on Roman, and he has this pissed off look in his face, like he's got a plan, or they're gonna beat the shit out of Sami during the match. So yeah, that was a great segment. All right, now we got the triple threat match. Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory for the US title. Lashley hit a DDT and a flatliner on both guys at the same time. Seth hit a flying knee off the apron on Lashley. Theory hit both guys with steel steps on the outside. Seth hit a powerbomb on Theory for a 2 count. Bobby Lashley hit a spine buster on Seth, and then Rollins hit a pedigree on Bobby for a near fall. And then Seth hit a frog splash on Lashley for a 2 count. Lashley hit a spear on Rollins while Seth was going for a Falcon Arrow. And then Theory pinned Seth. So Lashley hit the spear. He just rolled out to the outside the ring, and then Theory pins Seth. So he's a new US champion. So who knows if he's going to get a good run with the US title, or he's going to lose as fast as Rollins. So yeah, that was it for that match. Another segment in the back before the main event. It's Roman and Jay. Jay says, "What did he say?" Roman says, "I looked him in the eye like I said I would. I saw everything I needed to say." So yeah, that was it for that. All right, we got the main event, men's war game match. Bloodline versus Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Butch and Jay start the match, and then Ridge enters next. And then next it's going to be Jimmy, but then Roman does hold up. You ain't going nowhere. He tells Sami Zayn, "Go in there." So it's pretty much to test Sami Zayn's loyalty, if he's going to help, because Jey Uso's the one that started the match. And then Jimmy Uso enters. He brings tables into the match from under the ring. KO enters. He throws a bunch of chairs in the ring. And then eventually followed by Solo, Sheamus, and then Roman. Tribal Chief, he enters last. So everybody on the Brawling Brutes, Drew and Kevin Owens, they all did the beats of the Baldwin in between the rings. This was a great spot. And then I think Sheamus hit Roman about 20, 25 times with it. Sheamus hit a bro kick on Solo. Roman hit a spear on Sheamus for a 2 count. Jey Uso hit Sammy with a super kick. Ridge Holland avoided it, and then Jay hit Sammy with a super kick. So the commentators were saying it was like friendly fire. So I thought they were gonna build it up and then have them fight at the end. That didn't happen. Roman hit a spear on Ridge Holland through the table. Solo Sikoa put Drew McIntyre through a table with a spinning solo. And then KO is about to win the match. And referee counts to 2. And then I don't know where Sammy just grabs the ref. And then KO and Sammy have a stare down. KO's like, pretty much, what the fuck you doing? And then he's like, is this your family or whatever? And Sammy's like, yeah, that's my family. And then I think it was Jimmy. I think Jimmy is the one that super kicked KO. And then Owens caught his leg. And then Sammy low blowed KO. And then he left the KO for Jey Uso, hit a splash off the top rope on KO for the win. So the Bloodline wins, and they reign supreme and dominance over the company. Very shocking, I guess, win. Well, a lot of people were expecting Brawling Brutes and the KO and Drew to win. I don't know if Roman, man, they're running out of challengers for this guy. Got Cody Rhodes and Bray Wyatt, and he's pretty much just ran through the rest of the roster. So yeah, we'll see who. Eventually, he's gonna lose the title. I don't know how much longer, because if he wins after WrestleMania, I don't know. I don't think he's ever gonna lose it unless he loses the title, unless he fucking retires and goes off to Hollywood. Because then Cody or Bray Wyatt doesn't beat him. I don't think he's ever losing the titles. So yeah, that was pretty much it for Survivor Series. So yeah, all right, see you guys.